So my name is Avadhoot Maharaj from San Francisco. I've been on the spiritual path since 1970, and I've been on several paths, but I finally came to one called Bhakti Yoga, which I find to be completely satisfying to my mind and my heart, because one has a scriptural basis, not the Bible, but the ancient Vedic scriptures, which predate all the other scriptures. It has living representatives who you can question and ask and watch. And it has a very simple, practical lifestyle, which is very simple and accommodating, Mother Earth and her principles of purity, austerity, cleanliness, non-violence, truthfulness. So the path is set forth by Krishna to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita thousands of years ago. Whatever he said is still applicable today. The first thing is understand who you are, and that is described as Jivara Sarup Nitya Krishna Das in Sanskrit. That means the soul, the chip in the heart, which gives the energy for the body, is constitutionally an infinitesimal particle of the Supreme Lord. And constitutionally it also has a relationship with that Supreme, and that relationship is, of course, based on a loving relation, principally as a friend, a parent, a lover, a servant, or some neutral relationship. And this is all laid out in the Sanskrit work of Rupa Goswami called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So Bhakti, we know, means devotion to the Lord. Rasamrita Sindhu means an ocean of transcendental bliss. So that book is translated into English, and it gives a step-by-step procedure of applied spiritual dynamics, whereby initially you become free from all your karmic reactions, which was called klesha, disturbances to your mind, body, and in both the past and the future, and now. Those are removed. It gives auspiciousness, shubhadra, very auspiciousness to your future if you continue on the path. It infuses transcendental bliss. It nullifies the value of material liberation. In other words, entering into a void or a white light or a spiritual non-differentiated atmosphere of oneness, which seems great for those who have no knowledge of what is beyond that. So this path of bhakti actually minimizes the value of material and personal liberation in the Supreme. And then it attracts the Supreme Lord, because He is the Supreme Controller. We are all controlled by Him, so we are like, in one sense, considered female. He's the Purusha, the male. And if we develop prema, love, for God, that attracts Him to us. So most people, they're trying to do yoga, meditation, to ascend by their own power. But Bhakti works the other way around. Bhakti works by soliciting, through prayers, through devotion of hearing, talking, dancing, singing, remembering, worshiping, praying, in order to elicit some response, to bring down God's mercy. I think there's probably some Christian, branches that may have some similar idea on this principle of soliciting the mercy of God by your prayers, by your chanting, by your singing. So when God's mercy descends, then you feel Sanatana, a special, inconceivable, transcendental bliss. So you become completely happy, ecstatic, without any need for drugs or artificial highs. Because people want to get there, and they don't know about the real simple way of bhakti, the path of love. There's a tendency to artificially induce that blissfulness and high through chemicals or even natural mushrooms or plants, but it's always, a temporary experience. But in bhakti, the principle of bliss can remain and stay with you wherever you are. So you always feel high in your spirit. And you can that way tolerate, in the world, because the world is, a forest fire. We're burning up, especially here in Joshua Tree, but we're burning from diseases. We cannot stop disease hitting us. We cannot stop old age from breaking us down. We cannot stop death, we cannot stick our head in the sand and say it doesn't exist. The reality is, the material nature will crush you. But if you understand that the body is just a temporary vehicle for the soul, I am the spirit within, that spirit is part and parcel of God, we have a loving relationship which can be revealed if we follow the process that He spoke. So this process, we don't invent a way, we simply follow the process that the Supreme Lord gives. And of course the Lord is the founder of the Vedas and the Puranas, the histories. And in the Sripad Bhagavatam, which is the greatest of all the Puranas, the process and everything is laid out for approaching the Supreme and understanding Him in detail. Like the Bible says God is great, but if you want to know how great, you come to the Vedas, particularly the Sripad Bhagavatam, and everything will be described about Him, what He looks like, where He lives, what He does, His address, His phone number, everything. So, because of that clarity and that detail and the depth of the philosophy and the bliss that you feel when you apply it, I think any person will naturally feel comfortable. You don't require to change your dress, change your looks, just a few adjustments in your habits. If you're taking animal flesh, eating meat, gradually that can disappear, because it's an obstacle, one of the main obstacles to the path of devotion. If you're depending on any kind of chemical, drug, or alcohol, if you follow the process, that will also fall away. It's another big obstacle for people because they're dependent. Who is there out there that's not addicted to something? If we take our addictions materially and develop spiritual addictions to the particular processes of bhakti, those addictions will save us instead of kill us. Because material addictions, they'll kill you. So a few things will have to go, but it happens in the wash. It all comes out in the wash. If you just stick to the process, which is mainly hearing and chanting about the glories of the Purushottam, the Supreme Person, or Bhagawan, the one who controls and owns and is invested in everything. So that's basically it. And, the details are all described in these ancient scriptures called the Vedas. And there's many authors, more modern authors, like the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, who can further enlighten us and make it very simple for us. So it's all laid out. We don't have to invent anything. We just have to follow what the perfected, liberated souls have said. Because it's the path of the eternally liberated souls. John, thank you very much.